let's get into the things that we didn't like. Daryl, I know how much you hate women, so I'll let you go first. Welcome to Agents of Screen, the first and only place to come to for movie reviews live at the cinema. And we have just seen Birds of Prey and we've just...
Just leave it.
I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna do it. And we've just finished watching Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn. I know I'm getting G's, you get me? But that's the only time I'll be saying it. From this point on, it'll be Birds of Prey. But I'm your boy Miles. I'm joined by my fellow agents Daryl and James. Let's get into our first impressions off the bat. Daryl, what are you saying?
I'm not gonna lie, I had high hopes for this film, but no, I did, because I saw Harley Quinn and all that stuff, and I do think she plays a role well. So I will say, off the bat, this film is doo-doo, super doo-doo, garbage.
That's it, bro. Fair enough. James, what are you saying? Remember, it's okay to like the film. Remember that.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. Which doesn't mean it's good, by the way. I'm just saying, still,
My first impression is I missed Love Island to be here.
And I did too.
And I am furious that I missed it.
And I think that one episode, the first 10 minutes of Love Island, would have just destroyed this whole film.
So that's my first impression, that I would have preferred to stay home and watch Love Island instead of coming to see this film. That being said, let's raise the mood a little bit.
Okay.
Let's start off what we liked about the film. I think something quite obvious that we liked is, I think, Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed her as Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
I think she's one of the highlights of the movie.
100%.
Well, anything that you liked about the film, Daryl?
Yeah, your one, which was Harley Quinn. I think. Wow. No, there is something. I think the action scenes towards the end got a bit kooky, but was okay. But
Jesus. So I had a few things I would say that I liked about this film. One, I just wanted to point out, whoever was the actor for Victor Zsasz, he was a sick Victor Zsasz. Huh? This is one of my highlights.
okay, fine.
This is one of my highlights, yeah. One, they got his character design right in terms of like the scars on his body and everything. I thought they. Well, yeah, okay, fine. You could say it's easy, but people have done much worse.
Any person that plays a psychopath and then puts scars on it, he did, in my opinion, I don't think he did anything crazy for me to
let
go,
man have his joy in it.
Oh shit! Okay, fine, my bad.
Yeah, Victor Zsasz, what else?
Can we just like enjoy like the good parts before we start smashing into the bad? Jesus. All right, yeah, you say that, but I think he was a very good Victor Zsasz. Also, I like that they brought in the hyena as well. They didn't bring in both, which is a disappointment. But yeah, that's the only, I would say, probably the only good positive things about it.
Okay,
Some of the fight scenes.
I think overall the action was decent, but some of the choreography at times I was like, okay, I like that little bit there, I like that little bit there, but you know, I guess I like the look of the film. I know they tried to purposely make it more colourful, more saturated. I enjoyed the look of it.
Yeah.
But apart from those things,
And I mean, also the fashion, Harley Quinn's fashion was interesting, I guess. She had different outfits, you know.
I'm trying to tell if you're trolling.
but in terms of the outfits, I know because it had a female director, they purposely tried to unsexy the movie to make it more less you know, glorified,
seductive,
more objectifying.
Yeah.
Less objectifying.
Yeah.
That being said, I'm not going to force it anymore. Let's get into the things that we didn't like.
Okay.
Daryl, I know how much you hate women, so I'll let you go first.
That was a good segue. Okay, what I didn't like about the movie, I think the dynamic between all of them was horrendous. They had no chemistry whatsoever. They tried to create chemistry towards the end and making jokes, ha 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 ha, you know, oh, he's wearing that, you're wearing that top with those skirts, ha ha, they're doing all that crap. Oh, I can't believe you kicked someone with no shoes.
Similar to Suicide Squad in that sense, in terms of like they tried to sell us the chemistry.
Yeah,
But it wasn't really there.
and I think that's my issue with DC at the moment. Is it seems like they're just trying to rush things too fast and try and shove this chemistry that's not there. Right, so when you look at, I don't want to go into one, but when you look at Batman versus Superman, they tried to cram this like, oh, we're friends, you know, that sort of stuff. The same thing with Suicide Squad. Again, they're trying to cram.
Suicide Squad probably had one of the best chemistries compared to the other teams, in my opinion.
But anyway, in terms of the acting was poor, super poor, right? I don't know what the Black Canary's character was. Again, I don't know why that character was, you know, why they turned her black. I don't know if they tried to make a thing where they said, oh, Black Canary to make it cool because she's black. I don't know. Her acting was terrible.
So the name of this movie, as we well know, is called Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn.
I thought you were going to do that again.
I've gone back on my word, haven't I? Fucking hell, mate. But I felt like it was a Harley Quinn movie. So it was almost like Harley Quinn and the Fantabulous Emancipation of the Birds of Prey. Because you don't really get to see the Birds of Prey together until the very, very end of the movie.
That was another issue I had with the film, was the structure. The beginning was, not saying confusing, but was completely unnecessary to do this time-hopping business.
The thing is with that, to play devil's advocate, I don't know if they've done that. I have no knowledge of this. I don't know if they've done that purposely to kind of put you in the mind of Harley Quinn, like she's scatterbrained, to be like here, there, everywhere, back.
I mean, maybe it would have been nice.
It.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they could have played on that and highlighted that that's what they were kind of do, but in a subtle way, for me to know, oh, that's what they're doing, right? And there was even some scenes that were just ridiculous. Why bother? Like there were some parts where like I'm trying to understand this time hopping stuff towards the beginning, and then they actually catch up to where you are, and then you're like, all right, why don't you just tell the story how it was? And the ironic thing is, the beginning of the movie, it says, I like to tell my stories where they begin. All right, we'll tell them where they begin. Why is it going all over the place? But again, like you said, it could possibly be that they're just messing about, trying to, you know, show you that her mind's messed up or whatever. I don't know.
Fair enough. James, what didn't you like?
I feel like they underutilized Black Canary 100%. She had the potential to be a good character, but they literally didn't even utilize her until the end. And even then, it was a waste man situation. And I, obviously because it's a spoiler free, I can't go into detail why that really annoyed me. But you lot know what I'm talking about. When she was finally utilized, what was that garbage? Like I have nothing else to say regarding that situation regarding Black Canary. They just went.
Why they possibly did that, because obviously we know the full extent of what Black Canary's character is. If they had given her that from the beginning, it would have been a different movie. Like she would have ended things very quickly in certain situations. So I get to a certain extent why. I'm assuming that's what happened. I'm not trying to make up stuff for this mess, but yeah. I'll tell you another thing that annoyed me. Sorry to cut you off because this is just dumb. And I mean, this is not this movie's fault. Many movies around this gender, we'll say, tend to believe that 65 kg, 70 kg females can just fling, you know, 100 plus kg guys off certain areas, kick them and they go flying. I'd love to see these women do that to someone, do you know what I mean? But it just doesn't, for some reason they have...
Is that code for you want to be dominated? I know on the dark web that can be arranged.
Alright, look. I'll tell you this now. There was just certain scenes where I just thought, come on. I mean, there were a few scenes where they did catch her out. Like, they caught Harley and slapped her up. Like, you know, there was like, you know...
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, off that point, I think, like, the tone of the movie kind of confused me. Because if they meant it to be, like, slapstick, you're shooting them from close range, just going, you're not hitting them. Yeah. Women are able to, like, toss people, like... up in the air and across the room, I could accept that if it's like cartoony. But if you're trying to be serious, then you can't be like, what's going on here? So like the tone of the movie, I'm not quite sure what they were going for exactly. And back to the point I was making about it was more of a Harley Quinn movie than a Birds of Prey movie. For that same reason, I don't think like the characters weren't really developed. For the other characters, he's talking about Black Canary, I was talking about the entire team. And for that same reason, I didn't really care about the characters. No, they were like, okay. And at a point in the movie, I was just, I said to Daryl, I can't wait for this movie to end. I can't, because like, what really happened in the film. Like, really.
I don't know why it was made.
And the plot of the movie was really poor. Like, you're either gonna rely on the characters or you're gonna rely on the plot. But the plot is basically they have to find a diamond and get diamond, and then that's it.
Yeah, pretty much.
It was a very basic plot. And there was also one thing that really, really didn't make sense to me. So there was a scene where she went into the police station, and a lot of that just did not make sense because it's just not realistic. How she was going on and how people were reacting to her in America does not make sense.
But the thing is, it's America. Every police officer would have a gun. They would have ended that very quickly. Like you said about the slapstick stuff, we could just suspend belief and go, all right, it's just a film, allow it. But at the same time, you're watching this, and again, that's another scene where she's flinging dudes left, right, and center. But I'm supposed to sit
in that
there.
scene, there was a lot of over elaborate moves just for like the sake of showing the camera.
Again, in that scene,
And man's just there like waiting for the hit. I was thinking, rah, bro, what the fuck?
Even like there's a few action scenes she does where all she has to do is drop the guy on the floor, but she does a flip over his arm around him, and then why?
The one final one, unless you guys have anything else to add, that I didn't really like. I'm not going to go into detail into it. I like Ewan McGregor, obviously, Obi-Wan Kenobi and all of that. But I thought the villain, unfortunately, was quite throwaway.
Yeah, and I didn't feel like there was like fear. Like, I know what Black Mask is about, and I'm aware of the character. I knew it was him anyway, because even the flashy outfits, until he showed to the end.
What did he really do? He's not any worse than the other criminals in the film, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To be fair, Harley Quinn kills more people than the villain. So she's worse than him.
I actually just made a distinct connection to these films. This film reminds me of the cartoon Harley Quinn show that's going on right now in DC. Except for I actually enjoy that cartoon, and I just don't enjoy this film.
Speaking of which, that's a good segue into our scores. Okay, seeing as I spoke to you last, I'm going to return to you, James. What is your score for Harley Quinn? Oh, exactly. What is your score for Birds of Prey?
No, it's a just call it. It's Harley Quinn. It's a Harley Quinn solo film. I have to score this low, man. It's a 5 out of 10. No, this film overall was not entertaining. There was good actresses, but overall the plot was terrible. The fighting scenes hardly made sense. Wasted characters, blurted out way too much information, and just did not mesh together as a team. With that in mind, 5 out of 10.
Fair enough, James. Daryl, how you feeling?
Oh man, I think at this point now, I'm giving DC too many chances now, bruv. Too many, bruv. Yeah.
It hurts you to say that.
I know, and you know I've been called Mr. DC before, and it's embarrassing now. And I just think you lot need to get your shit together, please. I'm not feeling these, yeah. So with that said, I'm gonna be harsh. It is definitely the worst movie of the year.
What is it?
I'm gonna do it, James. It's for the whole year. It's done. You name me a film that's worse than this for the year that we're gonna cover, by all means. With that said, the film's a mess. Margot Robbie is pretty much the only thing you would actually want to watch. Her character's very charismatic, and I thought that's what carried the film. And if she wasn't in this film, this would be even more doo-doo. With that,
Though, you just think about that.
bruh.
Imagine this film without Margot Robbie.
Bruh.
Oh my word.
And the worst part is,
oh my god.
and the worst part is, at the end of the movie, they kind of hint that when she does her own thing, and then the others, they call themselves the best.
That's a movie I definitely would not want to watch.
100%. No one wants
them
to
free. What?
No one wants to see Rosie Perez at 50 doing them things. So with that said, this film's getting a 3.5 from me. Yeah. DC, get your act together, mate. This is pathetic. On to you, Mars, please.
Okay, so, following from Suicide Squad, I didn't have high expectations for this film. However, I was prepared to be wrong.
Yeah.
Going into this, I saw the press release reviews. They were really loving this film. They were really, really loving this film. And I think I would have really liked this film if two things.
Okay.
If A, I was 15 years old, because you need to be 15 to get into this film.
Okay.
And two, if I had a vagina, I think I would enjoy this film. But you could argue, unfortunately, I have neither of those things. So, we already discussed in length what we liked and didn't like. My score for Birds of Prey will be a 4. 4 out of 10. That hurts me to say, man.
Does it though? Why?
Oh, it does. Actually, it doesn't. It doesn't. And as always, if you want a recommendation, if you should spend your money, put your hand in your pocket and give your money, I say no, hell no, no way. I'll be very interested to see how this film does in the box office. That being said, whatever the average score between the three agents, the average will be in the middle of the screen right now. We have been the agents of S.C.R.E.E.N. I've been your boy Miles, and I'm joined by my fellow agents, Daryl and James. What did you think of Birds of Prey? Are we wrong? Did we see the same movie? What do you guys think? Let us know in the comments below. But from all of us, until the next video, peace.
Go women.